Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. My name is Minna Daniels. The Bola Ahmed Tinubu Scholarship Training, Education and Mentorship Program, BATSTEM, has provided educational materials and instilled values that promote good character in the lives of more than 5,000 students in 12 schools across the southwest Nigeria. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Community Engagement for Southwest, Moremi Ojudu, stated this when she took BATSTEM program to Moremi High School in Ile-Ife, Osun State. Femi Afariogun has the details.
In the bid to drive the renewed hope agenda to the grassroots, the Presidential Community Engagement Office in the Southwest has brought the Bola Ahmed Tinubu Scholarship Training, Education and Mentorship Program, BATSEM, to Moremi High School in Ile-Ife, Osun State. Leading the initiative to the school was the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Community Engagement, Moremi Ojudu, who emphasized the President's commitment to education and his focus on reducing the number of out-of-school children.
We are ensuring that these children embrace the ethics of discipline, hard work and education. We're also trying to make sure that these children are being the best in whatever they do. And also, we are trying to give scholarships to these children.
Educational materials such as books, bags, pen were given to the students, while instructional aids and food items were given to the teachers.
Thank you, President Tinubu, for giving us gifts.
Those things, people don't normally come to our school, but this one is special. So we want to appreciate them for the kind of love that they share to us.
Moremi Ojudu later paid homage to the Ooni of Ife, Obainito Adeyeye Ogunwusi, where the monarch commended the program and gave the team a royal blessing. From Ile-Ife, Osun State, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
The federal government is set to upgrade all police facilities in the country to enable it to deliver optimally on its mandate. The Executive Secretary, Nigerian Police Trust Fund, Alhaji Mohammed Shaidu, gave the assurance while inspecting facilities at the Police Staff College, Oju River, and the Detective College in Enugu. Susan Eze reports.
The Executive Secretary, Nigerian Police Trust Fund, Mohammed Shaidu, in company of the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of training and development, Frank Mba, while inspecting facilities at the Nigerian Police College, Oji River, and the Police Detective College, Enugu, maintained that the upgrade will significantly reposition the institution as part of the commitment of the federal government to equip the Nigerian police and improve the welfare of personnel for optimal performance.
One of the things we've come here to look at is how we can actually increase and help the structure and the foundation here, basically to see how we can empower and make sure that the situation, living conditions and training conditions of the personnel that will come out of this place is actually brought and upgraded.
This school has a history of training detectives from other police formations across West Africa. This school has a history of training detectives from the armed forces and other law enforcement agencies within the country.
Over 600 recruits are currently undergoing training at the college in Oji River. The upgrade of the facilities is in consonance with the Renewed Hope initiative of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
A collaborative approach between educators, parents and leaders to ensure that Nigerian children are protected in the cyberspace is this year's focus for the women community in Africa, which has organized a cyber safety summit in Abuja. Deborah Balabobo reports that 300 children from various schools were among the participants. With the slogan, Amplify, Magnify and Engage the Women Community in Africa, a coalition of civil society groups that address social issues, especially those which affect women in communities, sent the message for cyber safety in the hearts of the audience. The summit serves as a wake-up call to stakeholders to address negative realities confronting children in the cyberspace. Speakers at the summit added that the internet, once hailed as a revolutionary tool to streamline human endeavors, drive sufficiency, and foster growth, has also unleashed a myriad of challenges and perils.
These kinds of conversations are very necessary. And it is so necessary, so much so that we had to bring everybody together to be in the same room so that we can discuss and profile solutions, see how we can protect our children, our families.
The aim is to help children understand what's entailed the whole issue of cyberspace. So we'll help them learn how to navigate safely, to help them create awareness for them to know the dangers of the cyberspace.
The group also had a gala night where it unveiled a simplified version of the cyber crimes art and a board game as part of its effort to create a safer cyberspace for the young generation. In Abuja, Deborah Balabobo, NTA News. A new medical portal, My Bridge International UK, is set to transform healthcare in Africa, starting with Nigeria. The platform connects African hospitals with advanced medical systems abroad, bridging gaps in access and resources. Uche Ugochukwu has the details.
Universal healthcare emphasizes access to quality services, especially in hard-to-reach areas. While African countries have made progress, significant gaps remain. There's growing excitement about a new online portal that aims to help bridge these gaps for healthcare providers.
They just started this new portal where you can log in and tell them what you want them to do for you.
So nurses majorly should partner or help out by creating awareness about the needs that we have in the healthcare system, because we are the first touch of patients.
The portal is designed to give healthcare managers access to global expertise, enhance their skills, and ultimately improve the quality of care they deliver.
As a UK-based charity, and trying to see how we can bridge the gap in the medical field in Africa, so we thought it wise to come to Africa, and to be precise, Nigeria, and by so doing, we came up with a medical portal by name the My Bridge portal.
Through our portal, we are trying to bring all the manufacturers together, a manufacturer in medical equipment. We also trying to bring doctors and nurses across the globe, working together and to find solution in any kind of pandemic across the globe.
Its unique features position the platform as a game changer for healthcare professionals in Nigeria and across Africa. Since 2020, My Bridge International UK has been providing support to improve healthcare services for vulnerable communities across the continent. This latest portal in Abuja marks another important step in that journey. With this launch, it is hoped that better access to quality healthcare will soon become the norm in Nigeria and Africa at large. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
Let's now join Hingino in Lagos for more news. Hello, Hingino.
Thank you, Mina, and welcome to Lagos. The Lagos State government will continue to develop and strengthen bilateral relationships with other countries to enhance the growth of the state's economy. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu stated this while playing host to the Prime Minister of Grenada at the State House Marina. Joy Ken Abapoya reports.
The visit by the Prime Minister of Grenada, Dikin Mitchell, who was accompanied by Chairman Dangote Group's Aliko Dangote, was to consolidate on investment discussion for Lagos, which was initiated when Governor Sanwo-Olu visited Grenada in 2023. The Prime Minister, who acknowledged Nigerians' dance strides in agriculture, fashion, and music, says discussions will also focus on logistics for the movement of goods between the two countries.
There are significant opportunities for investment from both perspectives, from the perspective of businessmen and women in Lagos, seeing the Caribbean as a hub for further investment in the Caribbean, Central and Latin America. And as we know, there is a significant diaspora in the Caribbean, in North America, in South America.
Commending the Grenada Prime Minister for his leadership skills, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu called for more African-Caribbean partnerships, especially in the areas of agriculture, food security, tourism, and infrastructural development.
We want to, say that, during this time, we believe in your leadership. We believe that you will not only take the Caribbean nations forward, but the Grenadians also will feel, your leadership at this time. We know sometimes it's tough because, earlier in the year, there were all sort of climate issues that affected some of the countries. That is also happening everywhere. Lagos is also not immune to climate changes. So we all need to be as resilient as possible and be able to absorb the shock, and move on.
Governor Sanwo-Olu also lauded Aliko Dangote for the bold move to set up the refinery in Ibeju-Lekki, expressing optimism that Nigerians will be the sole beneficiaries in the long run. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abapoya, NTA News.
Turning to education now, purchasing of textbooks by parents for their children is a basic requirement for effective learning in schools. While the idea of siblings reusing textbooks in schools is now a thing of the past, parents are groaning under the financial burden of buying new books for their wards. Bolaji Akin takes a look at publishers and schools' deviation from old method of reusing books.
In time past, parents worry less about buying textbooks for their children who are moving to another level of study, and the reason is simply because textbooks are handed down from one child to another. This style sadly no longer exists due to the new idea of turning textbooks to working books by most authors and publishers. This new system now makes it compulsory for parents to buy new textbooks at the beginning of every academic session, especially in private nursery, primary, and secondary schools, without recourse to the financial implications on parents who have about 3 children closely following each other academically.
A lot of parents are willing, they are crying, they are complaining, and the economy is not friendly.
The schools make the children write in the textbooks, and then it becomes useless for the child that is coming behind. It is totally condemnable. And what is even more worrisome is the quality of these textbooks.
This, as a writer, I can say that this is one of the reasons. You have to change the books so that the pirates will not just feed on other people's sweat. That's one of the reasons, and maybe for variety's sake too.
Apart from financial burden on the parents, the new system, according to Mrs. Basi Ekpenyong, has also created educational gap in the academic foundation of the country.
Teacher will copy notes for the students to write. It's no longer like that. Even in secondary school, they write inside textbooks. So making the student very lazy and the teachers too lazy.
While parents are calling for a uniform academic curriculum for both private and public primary and secondary schools in the country, and policy that will bring back the recycling of textbooks, authors and publishers are advocating stiffer sanction for piracy and pirated copies as a way of changing the narrative. In Lagos, Bolaji Akin, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Lagos. Nationwide continues with Bilkisu in Jos after the break.
Towards transforming the grassroots. Governor Caleb Mutfwang gave the charge while performing ceremony in Jos. Indiang and Abagang reports.
Swearing in the 17 local government chairmen, Governor Caleb Mutfwang congratulated them on their elections, attributing it to their popularity and confidence the people have in them. The governor emphasized the need for accountability, integrity, and probity in their service to their fatherland.
I therefore welcome you on board to join me in leading Plateau State to a new level. That together we will join hands and work for the benefit of our people. We are going to ensure that you have a peer review mechanism that challenges you to give your best. And I can assure the people of Plateau State that we are not going to allow the local governments to be shortchanged.
Governor Mutfwang also highlighted the need for collaboration with stakeholders as they settle down to address grassroots challenges.
Definitely, I am committed to making sure that the local government system not only remains, but becomes stronger and more effective.
The chairman thanked the people for finding them worthy to serve, promising to work hard to justify the confidence reposed in them. In Jos, Indenyan and the Abuja, NTA News.
Plateau State Livestock Productivity, Resilience and Surveillance is educating farmers on the principle of effective disease surveillance in maintaining animal health and prevent the spread of infectious diseases. Ijoma Ozomina has details.
Seated here are participants from various departments of veterinary service in the State Ministry of Agriculture. The training will equip participants with requisite skills for systematic collation and collection of analysis and information on animal health. The sensitization enhances early warning system and response mechanisms for potential disease outbreak in animal population and promote collaboration and sharing of knowledge among veterinarians, para-veterinarians, and community health workers in disease surveillance efforts.
We encourage maybe the state government to have a stable disease surveillance team in both veterinary, human, and then the environment.
It is our duty to go back to the villages and carry this information that we have gotten to the farmer.
Commissioner for Agriculture represented says the state is strengthening the veterinary department in disease surveillance to improve livestock production.
We have to investigate whether there is presence of disease or not. And if there is presence of disease, then definitely authority is alerted, and then response is taken immediately.
These selected participants are within the communities, so they report any disease that has to do with public implication.
The training of these veterinarians and health workers will dovetail into training of other stakeholders in agriculture that will bring about improvement in livestock productivity. In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
That is our contribution from Jos. It's back to Mina in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Very well, Bill Kesu. Thank you so much. And in recognition of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, experts are engaging stakeholders to promote inclusivity with conversations around closing the care gap. Tokwe Alabi reports that the engagement was hosted by experts to promote education, support and hope for those affected by breast cancer.
The prevalence of breast cancer in Nigeria has experienced a substantial increase, reaching a rate of 54.3 per 100,000 individuals, representing a 100% jump over the past decade, constituting around 23% of all cancer cases and 14% of cancer-related deaths.
Check through, check here, check through the armpits.
This engagement by experts and caregivers recognizes breast cancer as the most often diagnosed disease worldwide, being the primary cause of mortality among women, and acknowledges early detection as a notable impact on the prognosis that mitigates the progression of complications and disability associated with the ailment.
My word to them is that they can survive
Survival is very possible. There are already 3 million people that have survived cancer, and as much as possible, they should ensure that they take care. They should run away from herbs. They should explore conventional medical treatment.
There are conversations around breast self-examination and screenings with the belief that early detection of breast cancer can cause decline in both incidence of illness, death rates, and financial burden of treatment.
The problem with the people is that they don't want people to know they are having this thing. That's the issue.
I am not against prayer, by all means. As you are praying about it, you are talking to a doctor. I can feel a mass in my breast. It was not there before. In fact, it's no longer a tip of my finger. It's growing. Say it out.
Most people think it is only when I have time or when I have the actual problem before I can actually go for checkup and all of that. But we are doing this awareness so that people can know, even before you feel anything, you can actually go for checkup.
With only 3 cancer treatment centers in the country, stakeholders believe Nigeria needs at least 1 comprehensive cancer center in each of the 36 states, considering the country's population and number of cancer patients. Tokbe Alabi, NTA News.
And the Chairman House Committee on Internally Displaced Persons, Refugees and Migrants, Abdullahi Balarabe, has expressed satisfaction with the performance of a National Commission of Refugees, Migrants and IDPs. This was during an oversight visit to the Commission, where the Federal Commissioner, Tijani Aliyu Ahmed, presented a 1-year performance report from September 2023 to September 2024 to the committee. Ruth Aguele reports.
Records show that more than 6 million people are facing displacement across the country due to factors beyond their control. Concerned with the task of addressing the needs of internally displaced persons and refugees in the country, the House Committee on IDPs, Refugees and Migrants have come on an oversight visit to the National Commission to assess its performance in the past 1 year, identify grey areas and strengthen collaboration to enhance activities of the Commission.
This commission started as Refugee Commission, that's all. Then later they added migration, then IDP.
Presenting the performance report, the Federal Commissioner expressed concerns over inadequate funding that has stalled major plans of improving livelihoods for persons of concern.
I informed the committee that we cannot continue to do that into supplying food to IDPs. We have to also look out of the box. And that's why we have introduced the Rehappy project, where refugees and migrants were given some agri inputs for them to cultivate the land, get what they can eat.
We are satisfied with what the Commissioner presented, and we have made some suggestions which they need to improve. They are supposed to submit a report to us as to what they received and how they spent what they received, so that the committee will look at the areas that they need to be get more funding.
Both parties agree to enhance efforts that will facilitate plans in proffering sustainable and durable solutions for IDPs and refugees across the country. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has made significant arrests and seizures in its ongoing efforts to combat drug trafficking. One Ogwejo Nemeka Simon Peter, a 29-year-old Thailand returnee, was arrested at the Lagos airport for importing 13.30 kilograms of heroin worth more than 3.192 billion naira. The heroin was concealed in 6 backpacks packed into 2 big suitcases. Additionally, NDLEA operatives intercepted large consignments of opioids at Lekki Deep Seaport, Apapa Seaport in Lagos, and Port Harcourt Port Complex on River State. The seized opioids worth 22.740 billion naira included 32.607 million pills of tramadol and 1.451 million bottles of codeine-based syrup. The NDLEA also conducted raids in Anambra and Edo states, arresting suspects and seizing significant quantities of psychoactive substances. Furthermore, the agency continued its war against drug abuse with sensitization activities targeting schools, worship centers, workplaces, and communities across the country. These efforts demonstrate the NDOEA's commitment to reducing drug supply and demand in Nigeria. And like a storm, new psychoactive substances are sweeping through communities, potent, dangerous, and constantly evolving. Each time progress is made, the goalpost shifts, making it almost impossible for health workers to tame. At the 15th Biannual International Conference on Substance Abuse in Abuja, health experts expressed concerns as policymakers also share strategies and solutions that may finally stem the tide. Haman Jabani reports.
The 15th Biannual International Conference on Drugs, Alcohol and Society in Africa, with the theme Improving Access to Treatment for Substance Use Disorder, Emerging Strategies and Persisting Challenges, is aimed at addressing different aspects of research on drugs and alcohol in African countries and how best to harness emerging strategies to combat the pervasive issue of substance abuse.
Treatment, in a sense, is a form of prevention. So we need to provide access to people who have a problem with drugs so that they can receive the kind of treatment and care that they need.
So if the capacity of primary health care level is built, and that primary health care does not mean government facility, if the non-governmental organizations who are involved in treatment that we know and registered with Federal Ministry of Health that they are into treatment is built, it will go a longer way to increase access to treatment.
That many individuals with substance use disorders face significant stigma in their different societies and within the healthcare systems.
Others say treatment gap for substance use disorder and lack of training, in addition to psychiatrics, cost of treatment are some of the major challenges.
The ECOWAS Commission has intensified its drug prevention and control efforts by outlining some activities to be rolled out in our member states to stem the tide against the emergence of the new psychotropic substances.
They can make someone to kill his parents without feeling it. It is that bad, and these drugs are available. So that's why we are concerned to see what we could do.
In some treatment centers, we had one lady to 19 men getting treatment. What does that say? That basically says we're not doing anything when it comes to the treatment of women with drug use disorders.
The conference is put together by ECOWAS and CRISA, and a communique is expected at the end. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
Time now to head to Makadi, where Susan O'Malley is standing by. Hello, Susan.
To Makudi. Several communities along the banks of River Benue have been sacked by flood water, resulting in the opening of emergency camps for flood victims. Elias Sitia, who monitored the situation in some of the affected communities, reports that registration of displaced persons has commenced in designated camps.
Some of the areas overtaken by floodwaters include the rice mill in Wadata and its environs, in Yongun and other communities along the Makudi-Gboko Road. This is Kocha Utebe, a community located along the Makudi-Gboko Road. And like many other communities along the river banks, it has been flooded, forcing residents to relocate to safer grounds. As at the time of filing this report, some affected persons who were initially hesitant to move out of the risk areas had no choice but to vacate with their belongings.
Then I've been home monitoring the water. As you can see, my properties and everything are outside.
When I came back to Boko, immediately I drove in. I discovered that the water has taken over the house.
Commissioner for Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, who is also the chairman of the State Technical Committee on Flood Response and Mitigation, Andrew Sekunde, explained that every necessary arrangements are in place to cater for flood victims with support from partnering organizations. He further noted that emergency camps have also been opened in Logo, Taka, Buruku, Guma, Kasinala, Gwe West, Apa and Agatu local government areas to cater for displaced population.
Commissioner of Transport has provided about five vehicles here. Look at SEMA. SEMA is there registering the displaced persons. You can see we have started receiving them. Look at them there. And it is the responsibility of His Excellency, the Governor of Benue State, to make sure that these people are where they're located and they are taken care of.
The flooding is attributed to the release of water from the Lagdo Dam and the recent heavy rainfall experienced in the state. In Makudi, Elias, ETF, NTA News.
To provide cost-effective and quality health care, the Police Officers' Wives Association, POA, has inaugurated a 10-bed space capacity clinic in Otukpa, Ogbadibo local government area of the state. Blessing Omeche Ebute has details.
One of the key agendas of the Police Officers' Wives Association is the promotion of welfare of its members and fostering sustainable development. In this light, provision of facilities that will promote health, education, and empowerment is top priority. The inauguration of the 10-bed space capacity clinic, a brainchild of the wife of the former Inspector General of Police, Hajara Baba Alkali, is a dream come true for the people of the community.
When I was on board, my 3 key points agenda are health, wealth, and empowerment. And I went to 18 states. Benue was the 19th state then. And I couldn't come when retirement catch on us. But then I came, I've seeked for the land, I've done the groundbreaking, and I feel I should fulfill my promise.
National President, Police Officers' Wives Association, represented by wife of the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Force Intelligence Department, Nadira Sadiq Galadanchi, appealed to the beneficiaries to own the facility and ensure they manage it properly.
Access to quality health care is not just necessary or necessity, it is a right. Hajara Fuwa Clinic will serve as a beacon of hope, offering vital medical services to officers and their families, as well as to the larger community.
To our brief police officers, we salute your selfless service, courage, sacrifice, and also your unwavering support to POA family.
Food items were also distributed to selected women in POA, which include wives of fallen officers and men. Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
And that's it from Makudi. We now return to Mina in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Susan. The All Progressives Congress APC has flagged off its campaign for the November 16th governorship election in Edo State. The party's candidate and incumbent governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa, while soliciting support, pledged to further advance achievements in key areas such as education, healthcare, and agriculture. Paul Omokego reports that the campaign commenced in the Edo Central Senatorial District.
The governor reflected on his administration's accomplishments over the last 10 months, emphasizing key milestones. He pledged further development if re-elected in the upcoming November governorship election, highlighting the relative peace in the state, youth and women empowerment initiatives, support for farmers, and workforce development programs. The governor also underscored efforts to enhance infrastructure to attract investors and boost motivation among civil and public servants, promising to implement a 73,000 naira minimum wage if given another term.
You have seen all that this administration has been doing. We will continue to advance further.
Every election must start from somewhere in sensitizing the people about what you are doing.
With this huge turnout, it shows that our party, APC, is going to record victory.
In the last 10 months, clearly he's been able to put peace into the system. He's been able to introduce unity amongst the political party elders.
The next stop on the APC's campaign schedule is Ikare Akoko in Ondo North Senatorial District as part of the first phase of the month-long campaign. In Akure, Paulo Mukago, NTA News.
And in Zamfara State, Governor Dauda Lawal has pledged that his government will take full responsibility for the well-being of the families of Zamfara guards who were killed in an ambush. The governor made the commitment at the Emir of Safe's palace during a condolence visit to the families of 9 members of the Community Protection Guards killed in an ambush last week. While consolidating and consoling the Safi Emirate and the families of the brave guards, Governor Lawal said that the ultimate sacrifice of the 9 community protection guards will never be in vain. The community protection guards, known as Askarawa, was established by Governor Dauda Lawal to support existing security agencies in the state. Governor Lawal also announced donations of money and foodstuffs to the victims' family. Earlier, the Emir of Safi, Alhaji Muhammadu Bawa, expressed gratitude to the governor for his consistent support and timely assistance in ensuring the people's safety. Stakeholders in the poultry business have shared their thoughts on the nutritional value, versatility and importance of egg in global diet. This came to the fore when Delta State joined the rest of the world to mark World Egg Day. Chinyere Okoli brings us key messages to keep in mind.
Eggs are one of the few foods that should be classified as superfoods that are loaded with nutrients, contributing to healthy living with special enhancement of the brain. Dwelling on the theme of this year's event, United by Eggs, nutritionists and egg farmers, alongside other experts, advised people to engage in the habit of eating egg for healthy living, noting that benefits therein cannot be overemphasized.
It's about sharing information amongst farmers, egg distributors, and policymakers. So it's actually a way of also letting people know the benefits of egg consumption and what egg is all about. As we all know, egg is versatile, is eco-friendly, and it contains much of the classes of food that we have.
Every single thing you need for your daily nutrient requirements is in the egg. The cholesterol your body needs to function, the hormones and everything is all in the egg. You know, those days they used to say don't eat too much eggs, but now over the years, several researches have been done to conclude that you actually need to eat more eggs than one a day. So even for the old people, you need the eggs because you don't eat much as an old person. But once you eat 1 or 2 eggs, it gives you all the nutrients your body requires to survive.
Egg has all the good cholesterol you need in your body. So eat egg every day makes you healthy and strong.
The history of World Egg Day was established in 1996 in Vienna, Austria. It was then decided that the second Friday of every October would be observed as World Eggs Day. In Asaba, I'm Chinyere Okoli, NTA News.
The federal government has received a report on the 2024 rainy season indicating a significant increase in farmers' output despite the environmental challenges associated with the season. The National Agricultural Extension and Research Liaison Service compiled a report and presented it to the Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security. Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi Musa Baba Aliyu has the details.
A rainfall situation this year.
The survey initially analyzed the 2024 rain pattern, revealing a decrease in rainfall compared to the 2023 season. This decline in rainfall resulted in a dry spell that adversely affected crop in 33 states. Additionally, floods were another contributing factor that impacted farmers' output during the season. A total of 31 states spanning 180 local government areas experienced flooding, with the northeast region severely affected. Despite these challenges, there has been notable increase in farmers' output this year. For example, rice farmers in 10 states were able to produce 9.129 million tons of paddy this year, with Niger State leading in production with over 700,000 tons. Similarly, 11.216 million tons of maize were cultivated in 10 states, with Kaduna maintaining its position as the top producer. Sorghum, cowpea and soybeans production also saw increase of 2.56%, 0.24% and 4.31% during the season. The survey further highlights that 46 million tons of cassava were produced during this year, with Benue taking the lead in production, followed by Kogi State. Niger leads in yam production, followed by Nasarawa, Enugu, and Edo states.
This report showed that 62% of Nigerians are now planting improved seed. And that's a very good increase. Last year we did the survey, it was between 15 to 25% Nigerian using improved seed.
Before the next rainy season, we should be able to deliver on that particular platform. The platform is going to bring in all this content from the various subject matter specialists and experts on how farmers are supposed to produce, when they are supposed to produce, and how they are supposed to tackle issues that they will see in terms of disease condition or maybe poor crop performance and whatnot, and actions they are supposed to take. I guess that is the kind of knowledge that farmers will need out there to do their own production.
There was general increase in cost of production of major crops during the season under review. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And the federal government has kept faith with its promises to cushion the effects of the economic hardship faced by vulnerable citizens by distributing bags of rice and other items to the less privileged in Awka, the Anambra State capital. Onome Okadibo reports that the Minister of Women Affairs was there to supervise the distribution of the items.
The Indiche Hall, Umudioka, in Awka, the Anambra State capital, was the venue of the distribution, as beneficiaries gathered and eager to receive the rice and other items. This initiative demonstrates President Bola Tinubu's administration's commitment to social welfare and economic empowerment. The Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, said federal government recognizes the economic challenges facing citizens as palliatives will mitigate the effects of the current realities.
Man is working day in and day out. I am telling you, whatever I myself is doing, is through him. I am doing it. And imagine how many people I'm fighting for you people to breathe air. It is still Mr. President that is doing it. Exercise patience. Couple of months, the results will start showing. Okay, let's say from 6 months to a year, the results will start showing.
The governor of Anambra State, who was represented, the APC chairman, Anambra State, Basil Ejidike, and others, commended the efforts of the federal government.
The president supports palliative so that people will be eating while other reforms and other dividends will come.
Stakeholders said the federal government's food distribution initiative is a beacon of hope for Nigerians most vulnerable. From Awka,
And the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation is spending 2 billion naira on various water supply projects in Sokoto State. Minister of State, Water and Sanitation, Bello Mohammed Goroyo, discloses the figures at the groundbreaking ceremony for the federal government intervention on water supply projects in Sokoto. Dalhatu Abdullahi has the report.
The projects are under the federal government intervention on water supply of the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The first component of the project, estimated at 2 billion naira, comprises new solar-powered boreholes at strategic locations, rehabilitation of malfunctional water schemes across the state, reconstruction of collapsed bridge at Kagara and damaged culvert at Boyeke, as well as some access roads. The new boreholes are to be provided for communities of some educational institutions, public organizations, and selected villages. Sokoto State Water Board, that experienced numerous overhauling without meeting the water needs of Sokoto and environs, is among the water schemes to be rehabilitated for optimum supply. supply. The aim is to ensure sufficient supply of potable water to Sokoto metropolis and its neighboring local government areas that lack access to quality drinking water. The contract agreement for the construction of a solar-powered borehole with reticulation to provide enough water fetching centers to students of the Sokoto State University was officially signed by the Minister of State Water and Sanitation, the acting Vice Chancellor, and the representatives of the contracting firms.
We are going to crisscross this country so that Nigerians would benefit on the dividends of democracy that is being provided by our dear President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Water is the number 6 in the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. And so the Honorable Minister was carefully given this ministry because of his track record and the capacity to deliver on his assignment.
The minister and entourage held similar symbolic flag-off at Gorenyo local government, where 11 solar-powered boreholes are to be drilled, one each for the 11 political wards of the area. The second component of the intervention projects of the renewed hope agenda is on dams refurbishment across the country, expected to commence in due course. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Up ahead, sports news and more. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. Super Eagles interim coach Augustin Eguavon says though the team only scored a goal against Libya, they are still top in the group. Speaking in Uyo, Eguavon promised a good outing on Tuesday. John Paul Alumona, who covered the match, reports that the Super Eagles dominated the game for nearly 90 minutes.
The match day 3 of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Mediterranean Knights of Libya was tension-soaked as the Nigerian players started pushing for an early goal in the first half, but the North Africans cleared and thwarted all the goal-bound moves by the Nigerians. In the second half, Coach Austin Eguavon made some substitutions, which later paid off in the 86th minute when Dele Bashiru scored the only goal of the match to give the home fans something to rejoice about.
It's a huge relief for me and the boys, obviously. 3 points was important to get. We got it.
We know that Libya came here, I think, to try and get the points. And yeah, they really played very defensively. And I think it would have been in their favour if they would have got that point for us to play. But yeah, like I said before, for us, I think the pressure is a privilege. We're a team that should be winning.
Looking at the way the game played out, I'm not sure every Nigerian really enjoyed the game the way we should have. But in the end, victory is the end point, and we got it in the end.
Nigeria now have 7 points from 3 matches and will travel to Benin, Libya, for the return leg on Tuesday. In Uyo, John Paul Alumona, NTA News.
And that's the most we can take on Nationwide today. Thank you for watching and do have a good evening.